हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम भगवान हे राम हे राम हे राम हे राम हमें दया करो। गुरुर ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुर् साक्षात् परम ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी भुक्ति मुक्ति प्रदायिनी मंत्र मूर्ते सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार वरनो रघुबर विमल यश जो दायक फल चार बुधहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। हे नाथ मम संकट हरो हरि। Please be seated. Our puja will be performed by Pandit Atma. We join in our Ramayana Chaupai's Bhajan Kirtan as puja is in progress.
जब तेरा शोभाज समाज सुख कहत न वनित देश वरण शारद शेष श्रुति सोरस जान महेश सिया पति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम बंदो पवन कुमार कलवन पावक ज्ञान घन जासु हृदय आकार बस ही राम शर छाप धर।
बोल श्री राजा रामचंद्र की जय।
प्रभु जी दया करो मन में आन बसो प्रभु जी दया करो मन में आन बसो प्रभु जी दया करो मन में आन बसो प्रभु जी दया करो तुम बिना लागे सुना तुम बिना लागे सुना खाली घट में प्रेम भरो खाली घट में प्रेम भरो प्रभु जी दया करो मन में आन बसो प्रभु जी। तंत्र मंत्र पूजा नहीं जानो तंत्र मंत्र पूजा नहीं जानो मैं तो केवल तुमको ही मानू मैं तो केवल तुमको ही मानू सारे जग में ढूंढ तुमको सारे जग में ढूंढ तुमको अब तो आकर बाह धरो अब तो आकर बाह धरो प्रभु जी प्रभु जी प्रभु जी दया करो मन में आन बसो प्रभु जी दया करो तुम बिना लागे सुना तुम बिना लागे सुना खाली घट में प्रेम भरो खाली घट में प्रेम भरो प्रभु जी दया करो मन में आन बसो प्रभु जी प्रभु जी प्रभु जी।
अंतर ज्योति नमो परमात्मा ज्योति नमो अखंड ज्योति नमो मम जीवन ज्योति नमो अंतर्यामी नमो जय सद्गुरु शिव नमो अंतर ज्योति नमो परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
अंतर ज्योति नमो परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
अंतर ज्योति नमो परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
अंतर ज्योति नमो परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
अखंड ज्योति नमो मम जीवन ज्योति नमो
अखंड ज्योति नमो मम जीवन ज्योति नमो
ये अखंड ज्योति नमो मम जीवन ज्योति नमो
ये अखंड ज्योति नमो मम जीवन ज्योति नमो
अंतर्यामी नमो जय सद्गुरु शिव 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 नमो
अंतर ज्योति नमो परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
अंतर ज्योति नमो परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
अखंड ज्योति नमो मम जीवन ज्योति नमो
अखंड ज्योति नमो मम जीवन ज्योति नमो
ये अखंड ज्योति नमो मम जीवन ज्योति नमो
ये अखंड ज्योति नमो मम जीवन ज्योति नमो
अंतर्यामी नमो जय सद्गुरु शिव 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 नमो
ओ अंतर ज्योति नमो परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
अंतर ज्योति नमो परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
परमात्मा ज्योति नमो
मम जीवन ज्योति नमो
मम जीवन ज्योति नमो
We continue to concentrate on Bhagavan Shankar. हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम 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 बोलो भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धिमी 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 तक नर्तन केलो हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम 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 बोलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम 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 बोलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम 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 बोलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम 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 बोलो
भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धीमी 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धीमी 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धीमी 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धीमी 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम बम बोलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम 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 बोलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम बम बोलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम बम बोलो
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 भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धीमी 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धीमी 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धीमी 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धीमी 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम बम बोलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम बम बोलो
भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धीमी 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धीमी 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम बम बोलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम बम बोलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम 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 बोलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम 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 बोलो
हो हर बम बम बोलो
हर बम 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 बोलो
हर बम बम बोलो हर बम बम बोलो हर बम बम बोलो हर बम
बोलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम बम बोलो
हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम बम बोलो
हो हर बम बम बोलो हर बम बम बोलो हर बम बम बोलो हर बम
बम बोलो
ओ भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धिमि 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धिमि 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
ओ भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धिमि 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
भवा भयंकर गिरिजा शंकर धिमि 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
ओ धिमि 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
धिमि 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
ओ धिमि 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
धिमि 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 तक नर्तन खेलो
ओ धिमि 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 तक नर्तन खेलो हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम बम बोलो हर शिव शंकर शशंख शेखर हर बम बम बोलो बोल श्री उमापति महादेव की जय. First of all, devotees, sit up straight. If you're on the ground, sit straight, keep your back straight. If you're on the chair, keep your back straight. First of all, we're going to settle our minds using a tool that we always have with us, that is our breath. So you're going to breathe in and breathe out, but make your outward breath longer than your inward breath. For example, if you breathe in for a count of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe out for a count of around 6. So it's longer than the incoming breath. If you do this cycle 3 times, what is going to happen is you're going to automatically calm your mind down. Okay? So it's good before we begin any sort of spiritual practice to calm our minds down. It also works for situations where you may be anxious, before an exam. You need to calm yourself down. The tool you always have with you is your breath. So, let's go. Sit up straight. Close your eyes. And you're not forcing it. Just take a breath in. Slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now breathe out through your mouth. Slowly. 3, 4, 5, 6. Again. In. Out. In. Out. Okay. You can place your hands on your lap. Just rest them lightly on your lap. We're going to do mantra jap. So, Mrityunjay mantra, remember? Last time we did it. We're going to do it 11 times and end with Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Remember, the mantra helps you, it helps me, it helps us, mantra in our minds. So, we chant Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanan Mrityur Mukshyam Mamratat. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Uruvarukam Iva Bandhanan Mrityur Mukshya Mamritat. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Offer some Google and sugar. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Pass water around 3 times. Om Sarva Papaharang Divyam Gangyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanang Chamaya Dattam Grihitam Purushottamah Achmanyam Samarpayami Sri Agindevaya Namo Namaha. Acha. Today, devotees, as we all know, we are celebrating Father's Day. Today is Father's Day. How come you're not sounding so excited? If it is Mother's Day, everybody's, oh, Mother's Day, nice. Father's Day, Now, there may be various reasons. You know, some of us have our fathers with us, some of us don't. Some of us know our biological fathers, some of us don't. Some of us have people that treat us like fathers or we consider like fathers. So this is wonderful. On occasions like these, why do we celebrate it? Well, we celebrate occasions like Father's Day to appreciate these relationships that we have in life. So today, to appreciate the role that our Father played, plays, and will continue to play in our lives. Not so? So what I want you to do is just take a moment, just close your eyes, and this is a very small gratitude practice. Okay? So it's nice if you have your father, if not, doesn't matter, but I want you to close your eyes, and all I want you to do is imagine your father is there, and you just, in your mind, prostrate, and I want you to say, thank you. Thank you. Dhanyavadaha. Now your father could have been a good man, he could have been a bad man, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he has given you something. Not so? Life, maybe have taken care of you, maybe not so well. Even if he was a dusht, a bad person, still you learn something, how not to be. Not so? So everybody, every relationship, you learn something. So I leave you to do this on your own. Take a moment, just close your eyes, and just in your mind prostrate, thank you, dhanyavad. And so too we express our gratitude to all of the ancestors, the fathers of our fathers, forefathers, because we carry on the lineage. So we express our gratitude in this way. Now, how many of you plan to celebrate Father's Day today with your fathers? Some of you? All right. Okay, good. You have any plans for me? No plans? No plans. Oh, okay. Good. I get to sleep a little bit. All right. Now, you may ask, I don't have to tell you about what a good father should be. I think we all intuitively know this. But remember the golden rule of parenting. What is the golden rule of being a parent? Some of you are parents, some of you might become parents. What's the golden rule? Auntie Vindra? You recall? Well, that is part of it, but that is one quality that is good, yes. And even if you don't have it, you do develop it when you become a parent. All right. The golden rule of parenting is this, whether you know it or not. It is to fix yourself before you fix anybody else. Okay? So here now you think, but this is strange. Isn't being a parent, taking care of a child, raising them right, making them a certain way? Well, that is part of the job, but really and truly, children learn, people learn by observing those around them, the immediate family. So when we're small, who did we first learn from? Parents, mother, then father. Okay, you see their attitudes and you imbibe that. So more than what you could tell a child is what that child can see you doing. Okay? And as I always like to say, you have to be ready to have children. Just don't have a set of children all over the place. All right? Why? Because you need to be there to model life for them, to model values for them, to be there for them. And you know, as fathers, sometimes we think the job is just to provide. So you put them in a house, you give them some money, and that is enough. That is a very small part of what is required. The best thing that you can give to your child is your time, your full attention, your wholehearted and selfless love. And again, I like to say this. Remember the models of parenting we spoke about. There is the carpenter model versus the gardener model. Carpenter is like you want to build them up. You want to build them to your design, how you want them to be. Whereas the gardener model, which I subscribe to, is like growing a plant. You know, we always go back to these agricultural type analogies. So you have a child, you provide the right environment, love, water, sunshine, all of the things, and the plant grows. If the plant is growing a little bit bent, you put in a stick, you tie it up, you try to make it grow a little bit straight. But you don't hold it and bend it so, because then you'll break it. Not so? So all of these little insights, devotees, they're not fancy, you know, they're not highfalutin. Right, Nani? You realize this over time. Over time you learn. Whether you educated yourself before or not, you learn this. So each child is different, like different plants in a garden. You have to treat with each one a little bit differently. Not so? Okay. So we understand that. Now, what about in the case when we don't have that physical parent there with us? Or we don't know who our father is? A lot of people don't. Then what do you do? So remember this verse of Chanakya. Satyam mata pita jnanam dharmo bhrata daya sakha shanti patni chhama putro shadeti mama bandhava. So devotees, you know, we all have relationships, but I mentioned over and over, they all come to an end. Okay? So we wouldn't have our parents around forever. Nor spouse, nor child. This is a hard reality, a fact of life. But Chanakya is saying that we do have our family members with us at all times, but in a different way. What is a different way? Satyam Mata. Satyam is truth. So who is your mother always that could never leave you? Truth. Your truth. And what is truth? That which is. Not what you believe only, but that which is truth. Next one. Who is your father? Pita Jnanam. Pita is father. What is Gyan? Well, not really. Part of it is knowledge, but Gyan means wisdom. Wisdom, which is, does this make sense? Known knowledge. So those of us who teach, we know you could go in class and say, learn off this. You can learn off something, and you know about it, you have an idea about it, but you don't know it. Only when you actually do it, when you live it, when you practice it, then you have that knowledge. So that we call Gyan, that is wisdom. Understand the difference? So who is your father? Always with you? Wisdom. This wisdom you have. And by wisdom, let me just, a quick aside. There is Vidya, which means knowledge. And there is Gyan, which means wisdom. So in the world, we have Apara Vidya, Vidya, and Gyan. These three. The lowest level is Apara Vidya. Okay? Apara Vidya is like what you learn in school. Okay, you learn about the laws of nature. You learn about how to behave in society. That is Apara Vidya. Some subjects you may know. I may know engineering. You might not. But it doesn't matter. Whatever worldly knowledge you have, that's fine. But then there's Para Vidya. Para Vidya is when you abstract away that lesson, and now you have that with you always as a life lesson. Okay? As it is said, you could go to university and study a degree, yes. But the real value of, say, like a university education is that you could show up somewhere for 4 years, 5 years, sometimes 6, 7 years if you're doing a PhD, right? And you get something done, you work in a certain way, and you can think in a certain way. So that's what you get. That's the Paravidya part. These inner lessons that you could apply to anything. But then beyond that now, you have Gyan, which has more to do with spiritual life. I can live my whole life without knowing anything about physics. I can live my whole life without knowing anything about social science. I can live my whole life without knowing different parts of knowledge, say literature. But this true knowledge of who I am, why I am here, where I am going, this true knowledge is referred to as Gyan. So you could do without knowing anything about engineering, but you cannot live your life without having Gyan. And that is why, devotees, you come to the temple. Not to hear Pandit carry on, Some of them like to carry on for a long time, right? But the whole point of coming here is to, one, get this Gyan or knowledge. But I will say something else to you. And this makes people uncomfortable. You know why you come to temple? Everybody in life is so accustomed to getting, to gaining. When you come to temple, you come here to lose. I'll say that again. You come to temple to lose. To lose what? You probably say, what is Pandit talking about, boy? You're probably talking about the dakshina and thing that we have to give. We come to lose. I don't mean that. What I mean is, you come to lose this false idea about yourself. You come to lose all the negativities in your mind. And this is not a play for making you come to temple, You see, you run around in the world for the whole week or 2 weeks, but when you come back here, the Pandit will come back and is supposed to remind you again and again. That is not true life. That is not true living. It's not who you are. It is part of life, but there is something more. So until you realize this on your own, until you don't need to come back to the temple, don't need to read scriptures, don't need to listen to the Pandit, you have to keep doing it. Because when you stay by yourself, we all know how easy it is to get caught up in your own mind. Not so? Oh, and the world today, there's an app for everything. You're feeling hungry, there's an app. Not so? You're feeling thirsty, there's an app. You're feeling sad, there's an app. You're feeling happy, there's an app. An app for everything. Yet still when you use all the app and you finish, you're still feeling the same way. Why? The solution, devotees, is not in the app and is not in being alone. The solution is in association here. But what kind of association? Satsangh. This is called Satsangh. Okay? So what does it mean? Sat means truth. Sangh means an association, a gathering. So wherever you gather to meet with people who are true, to discuss that which is true, that is Satsangh. Notice I didn't say about sitting and singing only, eh? That is a little part of it. But what we're doing here is called Satsangh. Okay? Contemplation, prayer, meditation, delving deep inside ourselves, going beyond the mess of worldly problems. So that's just a little word on Gyan. Right? That is Gyan. Satyam Mata, truth is mother. Pita Gyanam. Dharmo Bhrata, your duty is your brother. How many of you have brothers? Sisters? Right? So Dharmo Bhrata, now scriptures put it like this. I put it brother and sister together. Some people might argue, no, it's brother, no, it's son. I put it as sibling. Right? So your sibling is your duty. Your duty to your parents, your duty to your family, your duty to your job. Okay? Your duty to society. That is Dharmo Bhrata, your sibling. So Satyam Mata Pita Gyanam, Dharmo Bhrata Daya Sakha. Who is your true friend? Your true friend is Daya, compassion. Seeing the suffering of everybody else in the world and empathizing with that and helping. Going a step beyond and helping. That is compassion. So Daya Sakha, friend. The last two, Shanti Patni. So your spouse, the wife or husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, your partner. What is Shanti? Peace. Now somebody asked, Pandit, this means that my husband's supposed to be peaceful? Or my wife is supposed to be peaceful? Well, you're going to find that. Remember, I'm talking about qualities here. You have to look at your own partner and figure out your own qualities, okay? But it's good if you want to listen to this and you are a spouse and you think, you know what, I must be peaceful. I must not only cause trouble. But at the same time, stand up for yourself. So, what I'm talking about here is the qualities. Whether you have a partner or not, your partner always is your own inner peace. Your partner is your inner peace. Shanti Patni, and the last one is Chama Putro. So the child, the son, the child is Chama. What is Chama? Forgiveness. Forgiveness, imagine in life people do you all kind of thing. Forgiveness is for the forgiver, not for the forgiven. So forgiveness is when you in your mind say, you know what, this person, I understand that supreme light is in everybody, but that person's mind is a little deluded or a little confused right now. I forgive you. You go on your way, bhaiya. Right? I bow to you from far. But I forgive you mentally and move on with my life. I don't carry you in my mind, that mental baggage. Shadeti, these six, mama, my bandhava, my family. So now, sorry again for being a Pandit teacher like this, but you tell me back. Because I could sit down here and say what I want, and we all know you could not remember anything. So tell me, Satyam Mata. Truth is? Satyam Mata, next one. Pita Gyanam. Father is wisdom. Dharmo Bhrata. Your sibling, your brother is duty. Daya Sakha. Your true friend is compassion, Daya. Shanti Patni. Your wife, spouse is peace. Chama Putru. Your children, forgiveness. These six make up the members of my family that I have with me at all times. Good? So, when you're feeling a little down, you're missing people, that's okay. Remember, have gratitude in your mind. But people won't be with you forever, so then what do? In your mind, think about these six qualities. Family members that won't ever leave you. Will be with you at all times. Okay? Acha. So, that is a little bit on Father's Day. Now, as we normally do, we go on, we study our Bhagavad Gita. So, before we begin, we have been doing the Bhagavad Gita a little while. Quick quiz. What is the major scripture in Sanatan Dharma? So, we're all Hindus. What is our major scripture? Because it could be, hella confusing. Right? You have this book and that book and Ramayana, Mahabharata and this and that. What is the main scripture? What is the authority? Vedas. How many Vedas are there? 4. Not a bunch. 4. Where did they come from? So you have the Bible, you know whose words are in there. You have the Quran, right? The major text. Here we have the Vedas. Who wrote it? Who? But where did it come from? They just... Okay. So the sages, the rishis, rishi means seer. Not a seer man, eh? Like we say in Trinidad, and you go by a seer man and obia man. None of that nonsense. Rishi is a seer. So through meditation, they came to know. This knowledge is ancient. Right? As one philosopher put it, we shouldn't be doing, AD and BC, We should be doing after the Vedas, before the Vedas. Because at that point, this knowledge came. It came up. And it started there, disseminated through oral tradition, and then, of course, written down when you had writing and whatnot. Right? So ancient knowledge. All right. Now the thing is, the Vedas are vast and sometimes cryptic, difficult to understand. So the part of the Vedas that give us the philosophy of who we are, what we are about life, what is it called? I'll give you a hint. It starts with the same letter as my name, U. Upanishads. So the Upanishads embody the philosophy in Sanatana Dharma, which is called Vedant. See it, let me hear. So if you ask what the philosophy is, don't tell me Sri Ram and Sri Krishna and whatnot, That is nice, Lord Shiva, all these murtis, that is part of it. But that ain't it. What it is, our philosophy is called Vedant. Ved means the Vedas. And ant, not ants, but ant. Ant means end. So Vedant means what comes at the end of the Vedas. The philosophy is called as Vedant. Good. Now, we don't really read from the Upanishads, though I could. Because people don't find it that interesting. Some of them are a little cryptic, some of them quite nice stories. So what has happened over time is that Upanishads, those Upanishads from the Vedas, have been distilled into what we now have as the Bhagavad Gita, the words of embodied form of that Supreme Sri Krishna, the Arjuna. So it's the same thing, but in an easy to digest form, hopefully. Okay? So it is said, we have this rule of 3. Aside from the Vedas, we have these 3 core scriptures that we use for philosophy in Sanatana Dharma. Number 1, the Bhagavad Gita. 2, the Upanishads. The Gita synthesizes the Upanishads. And 3, the Brahma Sutras, which I wouldn't go into, philosophical works. Okay? But we study the Bhagavad Gita. So Akash, in Trinidad when you go in the court, right? And if you're a Hindu and you have to swear, you're telling the truth, nothing but the truth. What you put your hand on? Bhagavad Gita. Is this clear? So if anybody asks you as a Hindu, you're supposed to know this. This is the little tree that we have here. So the Bhagavad Gita makes things simple. Well, hopefully so. Okay? Right. Now, as I said, Hindus like to come temple with their hands swinging. Not in this temple. So now you have your Bhagavad Gitas. If not, we have copies here. Pass it around. We are in chapter 2. And today we are going to study a verse or 2. Now remember why you're doing this. If you have trouble in your life, you don't need to come by me for help, or anybody else. You can find the answers in the scriptures. Well, maybe that's not totally true. As I said, you need 3 things in your spiritual life. What are they? Scriptures, the Gita. What next? A guru. And a guru is a remover of darkness. Someone who has seen the light. Alright? Or at least a little more light than you. So that is the guru. And what's the third one? The most important one is your intellect, your internal guru. Tell me back the 3. What 3 things do you need for your spiritual life? Everybody. Number 1. Say the Gita now. The Gita. Right? Number 2. A guru. A true guru. Spiritual preceptor. Not somebody who running around for money, making you do all kind of nonsense. You must understand why you're doing what you're doing, but trust that person has your interest at heart and has the knowledge and the experience. Guru. And the third one is you, your buddhi. Buddhi means intellect. Devotees, nobody is going to solve your problems for you in life. Who has to solve it? You. Now, of course, yes, you can pray to God. That is a relationship you have. But technically speaking, that Supreme Spirit is you. So you solving your own problems, in other words. But let's keep it a little dualistic here, right? You have God, you have you. You have problems, you pray, you want them solved, not a problem. That is the starting point. So remember these three? Everybody clear? All right. So let's, this morning, just do a shloka or two from Bhagavad Gita. We are in chapter 2. Now, if you recall, the entire Gita, the context is Bhagwan Sri Krishna is advising Arjuna. Arjuna has to fight a battle, the Pandavas fighting the Kauravas, and in life we have to fight a battle, not so? I've said this over and over. What is the battle? The battlefield is Kurukshetra. Kuru. The field of action. So what is the battle? Who we fighting? Israel and Iran? Ukraine and Russia? Just now God knows who and who? This field that we speak about, the battle is taking place inside of you, inside of each person. Now, each person's battle is a little different. Alright? Some people may battle anxiety. Some people depression. Some people lack of self-esteem. Some people too many desires. Some people running after fame and fortune. All of these things, you might think they're nice things, but they're all enemies inside that we have to battle against. Existing within your own mind. It's all you. Your own mind. Okay? So, this battle is taking place, and Arjuna started off, as we all do, as I said, when things in life going nice, you are thinking about God, you are thinking about spirituality, no problem. But from the time trouble hits, you get sick, someone dies, the rug is pulled out from under you, depression. God, I don't know what to do, I can't act anymore. That is it. No energy. Now don't laugh at that, you know. This is a serious thing. Something funny, let it happen to you. I could tell you about that. Let it happen to you. You're depressed for weeks, you can't come off the bed. Someone dies, you can't fathom. Your whole life, look, all of a sudden they're just gone. They're gone like that. You're faced with death. You realize you have cancer. Oh my God, I have 2 weeks to live. Is this it? This is all it is? That suffering, that dukkha has to hit you at some point. Right? I'm not coming down, you know, I'm just trying to make a point. That it will hit you. It will hit you at some point. As it hit Arjuna. And Arjuna knocked him down. He didn't know what to do. How I could fight against my family. How I could carry on Sri Krishna. And then Sri Krishna now, the ultimate psychotherapist, that Supreme Lord, is putting now things to Arjuna to help remove this delusion from his mind. And I'm going to assume that we all are still deluded in our minds. You know, it is said, the scripture is Gita. If you're dotish, you're dushna. If you're completely dotish and you don't care, you don't need scriptures. Also, if you're completely enlightened and you know all of this, you know who you are, you don't need scriptures. But everybody else in between, back and forth, up and down, in tussles of life, all of us, we need to read the scriptures and understand the words of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Okay? Acha. Now, keep note what I'm saying here, because when I'm finished here, I have a little Q&A section. I'll let you ask questions. And you don't have to frighten. Ask the question, I will try my best to answer according to my understanding. But what sense it make? You come and you listen and you talk and you go back home. You can't ask or clarify any doubts. If you're frightened to do it communally, then come afterward and ask. But scriptures are meant to be discussed. If you notice, question and answer, to get these doubts rooted out of the mind. Okay? Now today, let's go to chapter 2, verse 54. We'll just look at 2 verses. And I've chosen this. What are we aspiring to? Okay? What is the end goal here? You know, Avengers Endgame? What is the end goal? What we want? Good? Whether you know it or you're not, right? So let's see what Sri Krishna has to say. First, Arjuna is going to ask a question, and then Sri Krishna is going to answer. So we begin with verse 54. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna says. So what I'll do, I'll sing the shloka, then we will go through the translation and a little bit of interpretation. Let's understand what it means. If questions come to mind, keep them and feel free to ask afterward. Okay? So we chant first of all, verse 54. And just for the new ones, what language is this? Sanskrit. Say Hindi, right? This is Sanskrit. Alright. Our scriptures, traditional ones written in Sanskrit language. So, Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna says, Sthita pragnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava sthita dhihi kim prabhasheta kim asita vrajeta kim Sri Krishna Chandra ki jai. Arjuna is asking Sri Krishna this question. He says, Sthita pragnasya ka bhasha. Sthita pragnasya. Sthita means steady. So that person with a steady intellect, a steady mind. Notice the words that are used to describe. Okay? My technique is to look at the words themselves and figure out what it means. So first question, steady intellect. What is that? What is a steady intellect, a steady mind? I'll come to it, explain it in a bit. Let's go through the translation first. Arjuna is saying, O Keshav, what is the characteristic or disposition of this person with a steady mind? Who is samadhisthasya? Who is grounded in that supreme consciousness? Samadhi is a state of being, of knowing who you are, of true reality. That's samadhi, simply put, right? I'll explain it more in a bit. So, O Keshav, what are the characteristics of the person who is of steady mind, steady intellect, and who is always situated in divine consciousness, divine bliss? How does such a person talk? How does such a person sit? How does such a person walk? Now you might think, what kind of weird question is this? I want to know, there is an enlightened person. Okay, I can understand, how does somebody talk? Right, Ivan? How does somebody talk? So, how does an enlightened person talk? This is for 2 things. 1, so you could judge. And secondly, you could aspire to this yourself. Don't miss that point. We are reading this so you know what you have to aspire to. How does an enlightened person talk? But then, how does this person sit? How does this person walk? Why do we care? Why does Arjuna care about how an enlightened person sits and how an enlightened person walks? Why? Sure. But I could just talk like an enlightened person and lie down in Singhasan like this. Right? My physical, the acharan, how I sit, how I walk. Why is that important, you think? We get in there. It's a very subtle point, It does, but Auntie Vindra, you could get a nice donkey. And you have a farm? You could get a nice donkey. Uncle, and you have a donkey. So you bring a nice donkey and you take my dhoti and kurta and put it on for the donkey. The donkey come and sit down here, and the donkey, I can't do a donkey sound good, right? But the donkey bray, and you find this donkey moving like the donkey enlightened. No? So it just can't be that, right? All right. So remember, I am filtering the scriptures through me. If you ask another pundit, you hear another story. But this is what makes sense to me. People, devotees, are open books. And what you have in yourself, inside yourself, in your mind, you cannot hide it from your body. If you're an anxious person, right? I remember when I was in school, now I was always an anxious person. Anxiety before exam, too bad. When teacher talking, especially to put me to sit in front, I sit down like this. Right? Like Vindy. Sit down. You don't want them to see you. You're hiding like that. Fear. So you're trying to hide. Your posture indicates that. Right? We all know about gestures. Right? And how if you stand up straight, you feel upright. You know, you convey that. Body language, devotees, tells you a lot more than what is coming out of somebody's mouth. You ever realize that? Let me give you a little tip. You're talking with somebody, right? So I don't know young people. I never went in a club. Say you're talking to, all right, let me use the club example. You meet up somebody in Walmart, right? That you didn't see long time. Yeah, we meet up people in Walmart all the time. So you meet up somebody in Walmart, you stand up talking to them. If you stand up talking and you notice their feet like this open towards you, chatting, they want to talk to you. If you notice their feet slightly turned like that or the body slightly turned away, that means they want to run and go. They don't really want to interact with you at this point in time. Subtle, subtle cues. Look for it and see. So our body language, how we behave, tells us about the state of our mind. That is why Arjuna here is asking Sri Krishna, first, from the mind, what do you say? Because I can't observe what is inside your head. Unless it's telepathic. But I could hear what you say, and I could see how your body moves, how you sit, how you walk, and I can infer what is going on inside of your mind. Not so? So this is what Arjuna is asking, and this is why, how does he sit? How does he walk? So you could look at somebody, and I mean even deeper than this, there's a certain vibration that certain people could see, quote unquote, they could feel. Always remember, some of the old people in Trinidad long time when they had to get married. My father told me this story. You have these whisperers. You could tell if somebody good or not. Somebody could tell if somebody pregnant or not. Somebody could tell certain things by the vibration. It's true, And some of the old people could know. Somebody come around them, good person. Somebody come around them, bad person. They could feel the vibes, and everything now is vibes. The vibes, they could feel it. They have that feeling, that knowing. Not everybody so, but people who are tested, they could do this. So that's another level to this. So don't think, devotees, that you could hide anything about yourself. You could sit down right there. I could look at you. I could know how you're feeling inside. Not just the thoughts you have, but the emotions that you're experiencing. All based on your body language. All based. And I could tell when you're sleeping too. Okay? All right. Is that clear? So Arjuna wants to know, what is the disposition of this enlightened person that we all aspire to? How does he or she talk? How does he or she sit? How does he or she walk? Now for today, we go on to the next verse. And we'll just analyze this one. Later services, we'll go on to the others. Right? We take our time and study each one in turn. Sri Krishna answers, verse 55. Sri Bhagwan Uvach. Sri Bhagwan, Sri Krishna Uvach. Sri Krishna said, Prajahate yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatma anatushta sthita pragyastadochyate. Sri Krishna Chandra ki jai. Sri Bhagwan Uvach. Prajahati yada kaman. So the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is saying, now this is the answer to this question. Who is an enlightened person? Listen. O Parth, O Arjuna, Sri Krishna is saying, when one discards or gives up all kaman. Kam means desire. Selfish desire. Let me qualify that. Kaman. When one discards or gives up all selfish desires that come from craving of your senses, that torment one's mind, and you yourself become satisfied in the realization of yourself. Now, I'm using the word self, but they're different selves. I'll talk about that in a bit. By yourself, such a person is called Sthita Prajna, which is stable of mind. Sthita, that's stability. Such a person is called stable of mind. So remember, Arjuna is using this word stable of mind as a proxy for an enlightened person. Right? So, first thing, to be enlightened, what qualities should you have? Right. Stable of mind. Now, let's analyze this. What is desire? At the heart, what is desire? What you want. Okay? What do you want? Now, as human beings, we all have basic necessities. Or basic drives. Food, shelter, reproduction. That is one, a very strong one. Okay? Basic drives. Beyond that, you have selfish desires, meaning things that you want. Why do you want the things that you want? Give me an answer, an honest answer. Because you think that when you get it, it will make you happy. So now, devotees, this is the Vedic psychology. I want you to analyze yourself. In your life, you are doing two things. You want certain things, and you try to avoid certain things. That is all. What you want and what you want to avoid. You want something nice to eat. You like doubles, you want more doubles. You see a nice looking girl, you think she'll make you happy, you're attracted, you want that. At the same time, that girl has another fella who she's running behind. You don't like that, so you want to avoid him. You want him to avoid her. You like certain things to eat, you don't like certain things to eat. You like certain people, you don't like certain people. So you always have these desires in your mind to go after the things that you want because you think that will make you happy. And you also want to avoid the things that you don't want because they'll make you unhappy. You don't want pain, right? Nobody wants pain or suffering. Okay. So, all of these are desires. Now, see, Krishna is saying, all of these desires come about because of what? Why do you have desires in the first place? So now, we come to learning a little bit about oneself. You see, devotees, in the world, we want to learn about all kind of things. All of the laws of physics and of nature, but nobody wants to learn about themselves. What could be more interesting than that? So all of us, right? How many senses do we have? How do we get information from the world? Senses. How many senses do we have? 5. They are known as Gyan Indriyas. What are they? I'll point, you tell me. Eyes, which is seeing. Which is? I know my nose big. Nose, which is smelling. Tongue, which is? Tasting. And? Your skin. Largest organ in your body, which is responsible for? Touch. So, Auntie Vincha, if I sit down here, and I don't smell something nice coming from the kitchen, would I be desirous of eating something? Not necessarily, right? I'm talking about extra, beyond basic needs. If I see something nice, so ladies, you go shopping and you see a real nice outfit, shoe, bag, whatever. You see it. Now you don't know why you find it looking nice. Because you find it looking nice. And you want it. Right? So you look at it, but if you didn't see it in the first place, would you have wanted it? No. So the lesson here is that we all have these Gyan Indriyas, our senses, but because of our senses running out into the world, seeing all kind of flashy stuff, it causes our mind to want those things. Alright? And it is these senses that torment the mind. So you see Chris Evans on TV, you say, woo, Captain America, boy. And then I want a man just like Captain America, you know. The eyes see, the ears see, the muscles get to you. We all went through this, you know. Just remember, I'm not a Swami, you know. The ancient sages, they all had families, life, lived like everybody else. And you know what it is. If you go sit down in the forest, you think you've seen any of this? Where the forest is? Right here. Not in the temple, Antivinja. And not in Ocala either, I mean the world, right? So the senses devotees always bombard you. Now you think you might be over the senses, but you're not. There's a classic case, I think it's the Bhagavad Mahapuran. This sage, highly elevated sage, well power. One day he went inside the river, he was meditating down deep inside, and he happened to see two fish mating nearby. When he see the two fish mating, the desire arose in him. He want a lady. Just by the sight of seeing two fish mating, what the senses see comes into the mind. So when he see that, that desire arose in him. And as the story goes, he went to the king and got married to a set of ladies, the 50 princesses, and then set up a palace for each one, replicated his body, all kind of, the stories are there to illustrate devotees. No matter how spiritually high you think you may be, nobody really is beyond the power, this maya of the senses, to draw your mind out. That is why when men like me get old and all the hair falling out, they try to regrow it. You want to get hair plugs. You're always trying to make the body better. You're trying to recover something that you've had. Not realizing, devotees, that the body could drop dead at some point. No matter what you do, you're getting out alive. Sorry about that thing, eh? My family told me, you don't talk about that this week. But I told you that the base of spirituality is thinking about death, about the end, about loss all the time. Right? So, no matter, and now, I'm not telling you don't enjoy your life, no, don't get me wrong. And it's not a pessimistic way of looking at the world. It is a realistic way of looking at the world. Like a child with a toy. You get it, you're happy. 2 days you play with it. Next day you play with it a little bit. Last day, it probably break or you forget about it and you're going on to the next toy. So we are in life. Every day. Young to old, everybody. Same thing. So see, Krishna is saying, listen, if you want to be enlightened, you want to get beyond this, do not suffer in the world, then you need to go beyond the cravings of these senses that torment the mind, that cause desires. Desires. So I told you before, devotees, when people come to me and my first question always is, tell me what you want. Tell me what you want, I'll tell you who you are. What you want. And based on what you want, I could now judge what it is you're still running after in this world. I thought a war started there, no see a flower fly. If missiles going so anti-Vinjay, better don't pelt anything, you know. We get frightened here in Ocala, you know. Alright. So, you understand the point, devotees. So now we have these desires. The big question is, well, Sri Krishna is saying, when you don't have desires, let's look at the end point. So how many of you could seriously say right now in life that you have no desires really whatsoever? Raise your hand. Honestly. Be honest to yourself. Let me put my hand down. No desires whatsoever. Nothing. If your child is hurt, you want to see them better. Is that a bad desire? Well, not really, but it's still a desire. It's still a wanting to change the circumstance. Not so? So what does this mean? Should we become robots? Just don't care? Doesn't mean that. What it means, the answer is here, when you quell these desires, so let's take it step by step. Start to reduce desires that you have. What happens is that your mind starts to settle down. It's like mud on the surface of water of your mind. When your mind settles down, okay, when the desires stop activating, then the mind becomes peaceful, quiet, quiescent. That's the first step. And that is the characteristic of an enlightened being, an enlightened person. Okay. So, let's summarize this. Shri Krishna is saying, a person of stable mind, Sita Prajna, one with a steady mind, steady intellect, that doesn't move up like a rock. You throw it in a pond and it will just ripple. The mind doesn't do that. If you throw something in it, then it remains calm. If your mind is like this, then you are like an enlightened one. You are getting there. But if not, then you have work to do. What is the cause of all this rippling in your mind? It is desire. Your life is driven by getting what you want and not getting what you want, or losing what you have. All of those things cause, if you get what you want, you become greedy for more. It causes ripples in your mind. If you don't get what you want or lose what you have, you become angry. You become jealous. And so the cycle goes. It ripples in your mind. It ripples in your mind. Devotees, the bad news is there is nothing you can do about it in the world like that. The big mistake is you try to fix the world. You try to fix the world. You know? Like this wealthy man went to a sage and he said, I want to be able to travel everywhere without getting hurt. Sage listened to him and said, good. So this man hired a nice crew of fellas, in Trinidad like CPEP. And wherever he was going, they would cut down everywhere and pave everywhere nice, and fixed up good. Right? So the sage heard the businessman saying all of this. Yes, everywhere I go, I have this crew and they fix up everything nice for me so I'll never be hurt. And then the sage said to the man, listen, all this is good, but you're spending so much money. All you have to do really is get a good pair of shoes, And wherever you walk and go, your feet will be protected, not so? So we want to change the whole world and fix up everything, whereas all we have to do is look at ourselves, our reactions to the world, and control that. That is a true person of enlightenment, a person of realization. So the point here, devotees, Shri Krishna is saying, again, is not the world, is not God, is not anything else. Who is it? You have to look at you. So what is the starting point of this? What is the beginning point, you think? You have to be aware of what is going on in your mind. And believe you me, the majority of people don't know what is going on in their own mind. They get up, they see something, they run after it. It's like Pavlov's dog, a kind of automatic response. You see a thing, you run after it. You see a thing. But we are human beings. What makes us different? We have an analytical mind, a buddhi, intellect. Quickly remember, I said the mind functionally is made up of 4 parts. Manas, buddhi, chit, and ahankar. Manas is the desiring part. Buddhi is the intellect part. That part that decides, like the judge. Chit is like memory, simply put, and ahankar is ego, which means a strong identification with your body. But unless you understand this inside yourself, inside your own head, then you just continue to work in automatic mode and automatically suffer. Okay? Acha. So I will stop here today. This is only the beginning of the answer. What is an enlightened person? So first Arjuna asked the question, who is an enlightened person? How does he or she speak, sit, walk? Then now Bhagwan begins to give an answer, starting off with, that person who is enlightened has a steady mind, like a roly-poly. Even if you knock it down, it comes back up. Right? Nothing can knock you over, you could cope. A steady mind, realized in the self, by the self. I didn't address this too much. I'll probably address this another time. But knowing who you are, that consciousness within you, your true nature, being established in that, such a person is called a person of stable mind. And then Shri Krishna goes on now to elaborate on that. But at this point here, I will conclude. We will look at other verses another time. So, today is Father's Day, and I told Auntie Vindra for Father's Day, I do what I want. So I read the verses I want, I sing what I want. Okay? So I read this for me, but remember the book here is for you. I'm not here just to talk, you're not here just to listen to me, this is not a show. You have the Gita with you. What I want you to do, go back now and read it on your own. Reflect upon it. 1 verse every day, but reflect deeply and now apply it to your own situation. It doesn't make any sense. You worship the book, you sing from the book, you try to learn the book. None of that. What you try to do is apply the book. Otherwise, it makes no sense. So this knowledge here is supreme. The gift of knowledge is the greatest knowledge. Don't Don't waste it, devotees. This is my gift to you. This is our gift that we have from our ancestors. Take it and continue to study now, and it will have an effect upon your life. Okay? So at this point here, I'll conclude. Bole Shri Krishna Bhagwan ki jai. It's 10:31. So let's say we have 5 minutes. Do you have any questions, or what are your questions? Feel free. Now, don't ask me all kind of thing, eh? I just, on questions on what we looked at this morning. Anything comes to mind? So as I like to tell my class, I've said it before, either you understand everything fully, or you don't understand anything at all. Acha? Alright, good. So, if you do have questions, think about it. You could ask me afterward, or later on. Yes, you have a question? Okay, so Sri Krishna goes on to explain this later on. You can think about everything like this. There's a problem, there's a solution. Right? Like going to the doctor. So the problem is suffering in the world. What is the cause? The cause of the problem is how your mind reacts to the world. Your reactions and having all of these desires. The solution, well, that's the rest of the Gita. All of these yogas or pathways that we have. There's Karam Yoga, the path of action. Gyan Yoga, the path of knowledge. There's Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion. Raj Yoga, path of meditation, and combinations of those. But later on in the Gita, really, it's synthesized like this. There is Vairagya and Abhyas. Two things. Vairagya means mentally letting go. Renunciation mentally. Giving up, don't grab at things, let them go, let them be. That's one. And secondly is Abhyas. Abhyas means practice. Practice of what? What we're doing now. Three things. Contemplation, we study scriptures. Secondly, prayer, the singing and the puja, the rituals, all those things constitute prayer, right? And the last one is meditation, which is becoming oneself, going beyond your own body-mind. So all of these practices that we do are just aimed at those three things. So you're on the right path, you're doing what you have to do, just keep on the pathway. This is a little, preview of what is to come. Abhyas, Vairagya. Acha? Okay, we make preparations for final Havan. While that is being done, let's glorify Prabhu Sri Krishna one last time. Kirtanam, and then we'll have our final Havan. Join together with me, devotees. You see, it is good to chant the name. So you could come and sit quietly. But you see these Sanskrit names we have? I will explain to you this sonic theology that we have later on. Why we use sounds and how these sounds can help reduce the oscillations in your mind. So it's important that you sing. Whether you sing good or sing bad is a different story. But sing, chant the name. When we say Govinda, Krishna, Rama, these sound vibrations have an effect on you. This is why we chant them. Why I think we say chant and be happy. It's not just imagining a God somewhere running around. It has an effect on you. So however you want to do it, either imagine a form, focus on the word itself. It helps you when you chant. So I want to hear you chant itself. The words are not difficult. Just listen to what I'm singing and you can follow along. Okay? Nanda Nanda Gopala. Gopal, the protector of one's senses. He Nanda Nanda Gopala, Ananda Nanda Gopala.
He Nanda Nanda Gopala, Nanda Nanda Gopala.
He Nanda Nanda Gopala, Nanda Nanda Gopala.
He Nanda Nanda Gopala, Nanda Nanda Gopala.
He Nanda Nanda Gopala, Ananda Nanda Gopala.
He Nanda Nanda Gopala, Nanda Nanda Gopala.
He Nanda Nanda Gopala, Nanda Nanda Gopala.
He Nanda Nanda Gopala, Nanda Nanda Gopala.
He Nanda नंद आनंद नंद यदु नंद नंद गोपाला
हे नंद नंद आनंद नंद यदु नंद नंद गोपाला
हे नंद नंद आनंद नंद यदु नंद नंद गोपाला
हे नंद नंद आनंद नंद यदु नंद नंद गोपाला
हे नंद नंद गोपाला आनंद नंद गोपाला हे नंद नंद गोपाला आनंद 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 नंद गोपाला. बोल श्री कृष्ण चंद्र की जय. We join Pandit Atma for our final havan.
ओम श्रीमन महगणाधिपतये नमः स्वाहा. ओम श्री गौरी माता स्वाहा. ओम श्री पृथ्वी माता स्वाहा. ओम श्री पंचोपादेवाय स्वाहा. ओम ह्रीं श्रीं चनिकाय नमः स्वाहा. ओम क्रीं काल्याय नमः स्वाहा. ओम श्री सिद्धेश्वरी महालक्ष्मी माताभ्यो नमः स्वाहा. ओम श्रीं ह्रीं सरस्वत्यै स्वाहा. ओम श्री नवदुर्गा माताभ्यो नमः स्वाहा. ओम श्री स्वाहा माताभ्यो नमः स्वाहा. ओम नमः शिवाय स्वाहा. ओम नमो भगवते नारायण स्वाहा. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय स्वाहा. ओम श्री सीतारामचंद्राय नमः स्वाहा. ओम श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः स्वाहा. ओम श्री हनुमंताय नमः स्वाहा. ओम श्री दित्यदेवाय स्वाहा. ओम श्री चंद्रदेवाय स्वाहा. ओम श्री मंगल देवाय स्वाहा. ओम श्री बुद्ध देवाय स्वाहा. ओम श्री बृहस्पति देवाय स्वाहा. ओम श्री शुक्र देवाय स्वाहा. ओम श्री शनि देवाय स्वाहा. ओम श्री राहुवे नमः स्वाहा. ओम श्री केतवे नमः स्वाहा. ओम श्री अग्नि देवाय स्वाहा. ओम श्री इष्ट देवाय स्वाहा. ओम श्री कुल देवाय स्वाहा. ओम श्री स्थान देवाय स्वाहा. ओम श्री वस्तु देवाय स्वाहा. ओम श्री सर्वदेवता सर्वदेवीभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा. ओम श्री अनंत स्वरूपाय ब्रह्मणे नमः स्वाहा. ओम श्री गुरुवेभ्यो नमः स्वाहा. Please all stand. ओम नमः शमवाय च मयोभवाय च नमः शंकराय च महेश्वराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवाय च. ओम नमः शिवाय. ओम पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णमं स्वाहा. बोल श्री भगवान शंकर की जय.
We'll have our final arati, devotees. You come up for your vibhuti as usual.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे. भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे. ओम जय जगदीश संपत्ति घर आवे, कष्ट मिटे तन का। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। मात पिता तुम मेरे, शरण गहूँ किसकी। स्वामी शरण गहूँ किसकी। तुम बिन और न दूजा, प्रभु बिन और न दूजा। आश करूँ जिसकी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम पूरन परमात्मा, तुम अंतर्यामी। स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी। पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर। तुम सबके स्वामी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम करुणा के सागर, तुम पालन करता। स्वामी तुम पालन करता। दीन दयालु कृपालु, दीन दयालु कृपालु। कृपा करो भरता। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम हो एक अगोचर, सबके प्राणपति। स्वामी सबके प्राणपति। किस विधि मिलो दया में, किस विधि मिलो दया में। तुमको मैं कुमति। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। दीन बंधु दुख हरता, तुम रक्षक मेरे। स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे। करुणा हस्त बढ़ावो, करुणा हस्त बढ़ावो। शरण परा तेरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। विषय विकार मिटाओ, पाप हरो देवा। स्वामी पाप हरो देवा। श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ावो, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ावो। संतन की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट। क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
We join in closing prayer. शिव हरे शिव राम सखे प्रभु, त्रिविधताप निवारण हे विभो। अज जनेश्वर यादव पाहि मां, शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं प्रतिदिनं कुशलं जयमङ्गलं प्रतिदिनं कुशलं जयमङ्गलम् ॐ मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्ष मङ्गलायतनो हरे मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज ॐ मन्त्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दनं यत् पूजितं मया देव परिपूर्णं ददस्तु मे ॐ असतो मा सत्कमय ॐ तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय ॐ मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ॐ हर हर